Hello, everyone. Welcome to the May edition of the Downtown Madison Inc. Advocacy Update. I'm Jason Elster, president of Downtown Madison Inc., here to have a conversation with the current council president, Regina Vittiver of the 5th District. Proud to say I'm a new resident of the 5th District, so she's now my alder. We're excited to hear about 5th District, what's happening in general in the city of Madison, but also what's happening in downtown. The 5th District does include just a little bit of downtown around the Camp Randall Stadium, so we're excited for a conversation with Council President Regina Vittiver. Thankful for our sponsors who have made the Advocacy Update series happen. Our major series sponsor, our friends at Sinair, and also our friends at the Fiore Companies and Hush Blackwell, our supporting sponsors. Thank you to Fiore and Hush. And as always, we are joined by Senior Vice President of Business Development at Sinair, Chris Gillings. Chris, how are you today?
Jason, I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's everything at Sinair?
Busy. We obviously it's a very interesting time to be doing work in the community development space. Lots of change going on and lots of change that we have to adjust to. But really fortunate the whole team pulled together, and we just last week closed the largest investment fund that we've had in the company's history by well over $100 million. So thanks to the hard work of a lot of people, we were lucky to raise $340 million, and that's going to get deployed not only here in Wisconsin, but throughout our footprint in the upper Midwest and out in the Mid-Atlantic.
That is huge news because you all put that money to such good use. Congratulations, Chris. That's great news. And you're doing well?
Yeah, doing well. I'm grateful to have Alder Vittiver to have you here. One of the things that we, as you know, Jason, love about this series is it lets us talk a little bit about the need for communities to be healthy beyond just the housing that is kind of our bread and butter and part and parcel to the work that we do day by day. But it's really the support of cities like the city of Madison, who does such a tremendous job of recognizing the need and supporting projects and supporting developers to make sure that everybody can enjoy Madison and everything that it has to offer without it being a housing burden. So Alder Vittiver, glad to hear that you're here and excited to hear some of what you've got going on in downtown and in District 5.
Well, Chris, thank you very much for your support and all you do to the community. It's always nice to touch base with you. Speaking of touch and base, give a quick update on all things advocacy at DMI. First and foremost, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our members for joining us for our 2025 annual celebration in the 5th District at Camp Randall South End Zone. It was a fantastic evening all around. We had our biggest crowd in our history, and we're just so thankful for all of the support. Really, it was a wonderful night, seeing so many great friends, so many great partners, and seeing all the connections that were made. It was DMI at its finest, so we are very thankful to all of our members for joining us a few weeks ago. Also very thankful for the new city council, which was seated about a month ago's time with the new council president, Regina Vittiver, and the new vice president, MGR Govindarajan. So there's certainly a downtown connection, and we are excited to work with them on many things over the next 2 years of this term. I also want to say a big thanks to the council president and the staff of the city council office for the opportunity to take part in a familiarization tour, an economic development department familiarization tour of Madison. It was excellent to be one of the MCs. Myself, along with Alder Rutherford Martinez and Alder Madison, we had a great time exploring mainly the east and northern parts of the city, but there's just so many great economic development projects happening. And the fact that I think 14 or 15 alders were on this trip to see about all the different great projects that are happening, facade grants and business improvement grants, all these different things that are happening that are the tools that we need to help our entrepreneurs succeed in our community. Many of those entrepreneurs are downtown, and many of them take advantage of all of the great city programming that is available to help create these really economically strong, equitable, inclusive, and vibrant business districts throughout Madison. And DMI is proud to be a part of several of those, including obviously downtown Madison Central Business Improvement District, but also the Regent Street Group, which Alder Vittiver has been a part of for many years. And on the east side, Cap East Business Association and the new Williamson Marquette Business Alliance. It's great to see so many of these important streets and stretches that are honestly so much dominated by our locally owned businesses. 80% of the businesses in the Madison Central Business Improvement District are locally owned. Willie Street, I can't hardly find one that wouldn't be local. Same with Monroe Street, same with Sherman and many of these important business areas in our community. We're thankful for the city of Madison's willingness to help set up many of these organizations so those groups can represent themselves and draw even more folks to each part of the city. We're all stronger as a community with multiple beating hearts in our community. We are honored to welcome the good friend to DMI and the new council president, 5th District Alder, Regina Vitavere. How are you doing this morning, or this afternoon? I don't even know what time of day it is. It doesn't really matter what time you're listening, whatever time of day it is. How are you?
Holding up, it's some challenging times in our country right now. And just trying to kind of make it through each day as the situations change. So
It certainly is, and we're very thankful for our local leadership, honestly, as there is uncertainty, certainly on the federal side. We are thankful for the leadership that we have on the local side, right? We're represented excellently by the council and certainly by the mayor, but also by our city staff. And you all are working hard to fill some of those voids, to do some of that work, to step up where you can, along with the county, certainly the county as well. Love for you to go over where the 5th district is, what it is, and what it's made up of, and what the connection is to downtown, so that our listeners kind of know who you represent in the county
sure,
council.
sure. So again, just to reiterate, Regina Vitiver, District 5 Alder and current Common Council President. We generally serve 1-year terms as Council President. We're elected as President and Vice President by our peers. This was actually the first time that most people could remember that it was an uncontested election for both president and vice president, which was interesting.
No. I want to stop you right there. It's not interesting. It's amazing. It tells you something, a huge something about your leadership and Alder Governor-Rajan's leadership in the council and building connections. So huge congratulations for that feat. And you really do have, the power of that council. So congratulations. It's amazing. Kudos to you.
I appreciate it. I was going to make, a deprecating remark about nobody else wanted to
Nope,
take
not a
on
chance. Great job.
But anyway, so roughly my district spans from the stadium to Hilldale. And the southern part is essentially the Southwest Commuter bike path, and then it does a little jog around Forest Hill Cemetery, and then it's Mineral Point Road, and then roughly the northern end is University Avenue, but I also have Eagle Heights, so it's sort of a funky district. And I will tell you that I had a very interesting situation a few years ago when we had those power outages. That I got a call from the Cove Apartments, which are on Lake Mendota. And they're like, "You're my alder, and our power is out." And I'm like, "I'm not your alder." And then I looked at it, I'm like, "Oh, I am." Because it's the university, and then it's 2 properties, and then it becomes Shorewood.
Yeah, there's one house and the one apartment.
One house and the Cove. And so I literally did not know they were in my district until they called, and I went, "Oh, yep, I am your elder. Let me see what I can do."
Happy to represent.
And then so on the downtown side, so the other sort of strange piece that I have is this odd corner across the street from the stadium, bounded by Randall, the bike path, and Monroe. And that's part of the Regent plan that you set up so well. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing where we go with that plan, because it really will be an opportunity to sort of bridge both the campus and downtown with Regent Street a little bit easier, but also just activate the street more and engage those businesses and really create that destination area on the Regent Street corridor, which it's already becoming very well, especially because of the revitalization of the businesses in that area. But I really look forward to that happening even more.
Well, certainly I want to get to Regent Street in a second here, but I want to hear, what are the major issues in your district right now that you're working on every single day?
So honestly, in my district, the major issues are around traffic enforcement, speeding, red light running, stop sign running. I just got notified that there was an accident between a bicyclist and a car the other day, which was unfortunate. So we really do need drivers to exercise much more caution than they are. And some people will say this is a result of the pandemic, that people kind of got used to the roads being not so many people on them, and now they like want to go fast and get everywhere. And it's like we really need people to just slow down and be more cautious. We don't have enough officers in the police force to be out at every intersection, making sure that everybody's obeying the traffic laws. It really is incumbent on drivers to pay attention and to please pay attention to the lights and the signs and comply, because I worry about the things that I see. I see people running red lights all the time, and somebody's going to get really hurt. And that's my concern. So really work a lot with traffic engineering, also both engineering, streets, traffic engineering, on a lot of the issues that are important to the people in my district. We're very lucky. We have a very strong business presence in the district. Housing is high. So it's always challenging for folks to find housing in the district. Congratulations on finding an opportunity to join the district.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Proud. I'm sorry. Let me just, if Alder Figueroa Cole is watching, I apologize for moving from the 10th, but I'm very happy to be in the 5th.
So yeah, so those are kind of the biggest things for the district, but also just continuing to think about, as we grow and develop, our impact on climate is huge because we know that the climate is unfortunately getting more warm, more carbon in our environment, and so things like the BRT really do help us move in the right direction. And the more folks have the opportunity to live and work where they can walk, bike, or bus, the better it is for all of us. And so really trying to make sure that we're promoting public transit and walkable, bikeable communities. And so those are all kind of part of what we try to concentrate on.
I mean, you really do have a very active district, right? I mean, it's a very urban district. You have a lot of bike commuters, a lot of pedestrian presence. You have University Avenue, you have the bus rapid transit, right, going through your district. You have the E line going through your district, parts of the D that go. You really have a lot happening there. And I think it is, though, a relief. It's nice that for the most part, the construction on University Avenue is complete. And it is a very nice street, save for the Highland intersection,
Yes,
which
the
will be
sewer
done.
project is.
Yes. But I will say the new road project, which you worked very heavily on, is friendly to so many more users. Part of that through Shorewood, obviously, with the extension of the bike
Yep.
path, but still it all connects together. So thank you for your support for all of us that are on using whatever mode of transportation, because you've been a big proponent for years of transit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because I mean, it just makes sense. We live on an isthmus and, we're projected to grow by 100,000 in the next
Yes.
15 years or something like that. And we can't accommodate, even if you said, okay, 100,000 people are bringing 20,000 more cars, we can't accommodate that on an isthmus. So we have to have alternatives. And transit is one of the best ways. And with the rapid transit, it really did shave time off. And, because sometimes you'd be like, oh gosh, I don't want to sit on the bus for 35 minutes when I could go in my car for 15. But if the BRT now makes it a 20-minute trip instead of your 15 in the car, well, that's real different. And you don't have to worry about parking, and you don't have to worry about maintenance on your car. You don't have to worry about gas. I mean, it really is the opportunity for us. And so I'm hopeful we'll be able to make the Beeline work as well, because that then will bring the north-south corridor in, and of course connect folks rapidly to Fitchburg as well, and Fitchburg into downtown, of course.
Well, and you've been very supportive of transit-oriented development. You've seen, I would say, one of the more success stories off of the bus rapid transit has been on University Avenue, right? In the amount of development, particularly housing that has happened. Not all in your district, some in Alder Tischler's district and a few other places. But you've seen significant development on these bus lines and on these transit ways. Why is it so important that we build housing in those areas and make those connections?
Yeah, I mean, the more people have the opportunity to either have a carless existence or a very low car existence, again, that's better for our climate. It's better for our health. The more people can be out walking and biking. I will claim, you might not know this, but my district and these zip codes actually have the lowest obesity rates in the entire state. There you go.
Really?
Yes, really. So,
I am proud to be a part of that. I guess I wasn't part of it when it was counted because I moved 2 weeks ago, but
right. But the point is when you make communities walkable and bikeable, people use it. And it's better for their health. So that is a constant conversation with the community in terms of a lot of the roads were kind of old county roads, and so they don't necessarily have sidewalks. And so that's a big issue is as we reconstruct those streets, making sure that we get sidewalks added in so that it's safer, more convenient for folks to be able to, again, walk and bike in the area, and especially safer for our kids.
And you've seen that. We've seen some really, really positive work happening. It's on Franklin Street, which is getting redone now in the 10th district. The redoing of Doncaster and some of these other streets with using a European model and able to get a thinner street and sort of winding to slow down traffic, but yet have the pedestrian amenities you need. It's really great to see the work that you're doing. Love to pivot towards Regent Street. You have been a champion of Regent Street for many years. You've been a part of the Regent Street group for as long as you've been in Alder, maybe even before you've been in Alder, a leader in this area. Why is it important to see a revitalized Regent Street? Why is it important for downtown? Why is it important for the Fifth District?
So I mean, and I think I said this publicly at a meeting, but I think when a lot of people think about Regent Street right now, they think about alcohol. There's just so much connection to alcohol usage, particularly around games. And I think that that's not necessarily the healthiest perspective, either for our city or for the region, especially because we do have really fantastic businesses going in. I mean, Leopold's, yes, it's combining alcohol with a bookstore, but it's a bookstore too, which is, and it's designed as a place where people gather and people stop and be part of community. And of course, then Fabiola's next door and then Butterbird. And of course, with, Budget Bicycles, and their presence on Regent Street, these are all really positive, pieces of that area. And, Italian Workmen's Club and Greenbush and that part of the history is really important to commit to continuing as well. And so the more that we can kind of build up those, I think, positive attributes of the area, the more it's going to become that destination. And I think in the Regent Street plan, the thing I'm most excited about is the walkway from Colson to Regent Street, because those train tracks, I see people crossing them all the time, and it is not safe. And so there's all these things about human-centered design, and we should follow what people want, which is they want to have a crossing there. So whatever way that we can make sure that that happens, that is going to improve safety. It's also going to improve, again, that connection between downtown and Regent Street. And it's really just going to activate both spaces even more, and bring more people to the area and really have them enjoying the breadth of experiences that they can have.
Well, there's the idea, and you're talking about this, of desire lines, right? People are going to go where they want to go on a path. You see it, that famous, there's two sidewalks and everyone just cuts across, and they basically carve the path out in the grass. We don't even have a desire line on Regent. We have a desire highway. I mean, the students, I believe, I don't want to put it on the students, but they have pulled back the fence completely, right? And
Yes.
that's the way they want to connect. And we're
Yes.
going to see more growth, right? With potentially a new, art building over there, some, potential workings that could happen, and more development that's happening in that region on both sides.
Yep.
But I think to be able to create better connections between the Cole Center, which is one of the heavyweights really on Regent Street, and Regent Street, I think is super important. And you have been an absolute champion. Thank you. You've been a part of the Business Association. You've been part of the Regent Street group. We really appreciate your leadership on Regent Street, because without the city's leadership, without your leadership, certainly the leadership of Tag Evers, certainly the leadership of MGR Govindarajan and Mike Revere has also been important. But having you all there in those conversations has been great. You were also a big part of the upzoning in that area, right? And adding some special map notes in the comprehensive plan. Why is it important to get more density in Regent Street?
Yeah, so again, all those things that we've talked about, when we have denser communities, we have the opportunity for shared resources. We have the opportunity again for more walk, bike, transit, but also just like we already have the infrastructure. So when we just upgrade that infrastructure, which is going to be happening with the Regent Street reconstruction, that is an efficient use of resources, right? We don't want sprawl. We want to have essentially as compacted communities as possible. And when we do that infill development and bring density to those areas, we really do impact positively towards all these goals: climate, walkability, community building, all of these things that are really positive for our city as a whole.
As council president, what are your priorities this year for downtown Madison?
So I think that really making sure that we're doing everything we can to encourage people to utilize the downtown. It is really it is the center of the city. And, there's a lot going on there. And, you see a lot of people enjoying the farmers market, concerts on the square, jazz at five. Doing the things like the night market is an opportunity to activate the space at a different time of day, a different day of the week. So all of these activities that bring people to the downtown area. And again, we're seeing so many new businesses along State Street just in the last year. And it's been fantastic to see that revitalization. I'm really hopeful that, especially with DMI's leadership, that we are able to move forward with some changes at the top of State Street and the old Madison College building. Those are some places that obviously are in need of some upgrades. And I understand it's been really challenging and it's tough. And so how the city can help to facilitate those areas getting refurbished, I think will benefit the entire city altogether, because having that vibrant space downtown really does have a positive impact on the entire city again, because people want to be there. They want to come there. They want to bring their families here. They want to host conventions here. All of those things are really positive for the area. And I do obviously have to put in a plug about tourism because, right, we do not have a city-specific sales tax. We only have a state sales tax and a county sales tax, but we do still get back some of that income back to the city. And so those tourism dollars really do help us as a city in terms of income and helping to reduce the burden on the local taxpayers. So we do really want to encourage that tourism because it is a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, there's no question. 25% of all room tax goes right back into the general fund. Importantly, though, 75% goes right back into putting more heads in beds, right? And so it helps facilitate it. I've said it many times. Chicago people's money is great, right? Because they spend the money and then they go
Right.
back to Chicago. You insert whatever city you want. I'm not insulting. I guess I am insulting people from Chicago. I think that's
We
probably
like
okay.
we like people from everywhere
We
that come
do.
and
I'm
visit
insulting anybody.
Madison.
If it's about tourism, come on to town. Come on to town. All right. We don't normally do this on the advocacy update, but are you okay with a game we play? It's simple. You won't get in trouble with your constituents, I promise. It's called the
Okay.
Fast and Furious Five. So we ask
Uh-oh.
five questions about downtown, your favorite things, and you just give whatever's on the top of your head.
Okay.
Okay, normally we don't do that. Normally this is the Downtown Happenings podcast, but we're going to combine two things. We're here. You seem game.
I'm game.
What is your favorite restaurant in downtown?
Oh gosh. Well, that's really hard.
Yeah, but you're not Alder Verveer, who has most of them in his district. So you know.
So I'm going to pick two
Fair.
because
You're council president. Pick
these are
three. Great.
relatively recent experience that I had an outstanding experience at Tempest and an outstanding experience at Heritage. And just so those have been a couple of recent ones that really just, the service is amazing. The food is top notch. Just wonderful environment and just great, great experience both times. So I'm gonna pick two for now.
Well, we could put that in an ad for downtown. I like that. That was good. Yeah. What's your favorite festival in downtown?
Art fair on the square.
Ooh, that was quick. Why? I'm
Well,
not questioning it. I'm just because you
so
answered that one quickly.
I'm a little bit of a jewelry fanatic. I really like jewelry. And that is my number one thing that I peruse and often purchase at Art Fair on the Square. And it comes about mm, not quite 2 months before my anniversary. And so I come home and I say, honey, here's what you got me for our anniversary. Thank you very much. So it's very convenient too.
That's, that is perfect. All right. What is your favorite? You eat ice cream?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, not, I want to be. What's your favorite Babcock ice cream flavor?
Oh, orange custard chocolate chip.
That is the right answer. You definitely the right answer. What's your favorite downtown memory?
Favorite downtown memory. Oh, wow. Oh, gosh. So this is really old. I remember when Ella's Deli was on State Street, and they had really good sandwiches. And so
I
I
miss them.
remember,
I do miss Ella's. I miss Ella's.
yeah, so like I have this, I don't know why, but I have this memory of going to Ella's and just having a fantastic, pastrami sandwich. And yeah,
I like that
I
very
don't know.
much. All right, you've got out of town visitors. You got a day in downtown. What do you do over that day?
A day in downtown. Okay, so typically, if they've really never been here before, I definitely suggest a tour of the Capitol. It's so much fun. And when you go on the tour, you learn so many just unusual things, and then you get to go to the top and see out. And so it's pretty awesome. Um, Definitely some time at Memorial Union, taking in the views, maybe having a beer, maybe having ice cream, as you said, strolling the shops, if depending on who they are and what their interests are. Um, and then I have not yet tried it, but I have heard really good things about the rooftop at the Moxie. So that is on my list of places to try, because there is not a ton of places where you can go for opportunities to enjoy the tops of the city while dining.
It,
So
it's
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 on my
really
list.
it's really special up there. It's a beautiful decor, beautiful space, and the views are amazing, right? Because you're sort of above everything. There's a couple other buildings, but it's pretty nice. I would highly recommend it.
Yes,
Highly
it's on my
recommend it.
list.
All right, this is a bonus question. You've done your five, but you've had significant amount of new businesses, and thank you for mentioning in downtown. Over the last calendar year, 45 new businesses have moved into Madison Central Business Improvement District. They have lost 20, but that's still a net 25, so things are doing well. You've also had several new businesses open in the fifth district. Tell us
Yeah.
about a couple of them.
Okay, so right sort of at the corner of Regent and Allen, we have a new independent bookstore, mother and daughter. Just I don't know how to describe it as except as adorable.
It is
It's just
adorable. It is a cute space. My friend owns the building. Liz Quinn, DMI member. She's amazing. Go to this bookstore.
yes. And she set up shop for her realty company next door.
Yep.
And then kind of across the street on Allen, there's a new little cafe, Cafe Mimi. And they have sort of like Korean street food. They're only open for lunch and after school Monday through Friday. So they're really trying to hit that West crowd, which I'm going to be curious to see what they do in the summer. But
You mean when the students aren't there?
right when they're not there. So I hope they
Yep.
figure out how to keep their business
Change
going.
plans.
Yeah, but because it's a really cute shop, and it's you order online and pick it up and eat. And then probably my favorite is the Domestique Glue Glue, where the Heights was. And so I've worked closely with MJ Hackox, who's the new director of Glue Glue and the sommelier, and she's amazing. And it's so nice to have that. It's now activated, for the entire day with the coffee shop in the morning and then the wine bar at night. So, and she's bringing in some small plates that I'm very excited about. You can tell I'm really very food oriented. Um,
I mean,
yeah,
you've got some really great restaurants in your district, though. I mean,
I
Cadre
can walk.
Lombardino's,
I
Blue
can
Moon,
walk to
Pastor and
Cadre,
Plenty.
Lombardino's, Blue
Yeah.
Moon, Pasture and Plenty, Barriques. I am so lucky. It's so
What that
like,
ice cream shop too? I always forget the
oh,
name, but
ice cream social.
that place is legit.
Oh yeah.
It's a little
Oh
too
yeah.
legit because your doctor's, I mean, you're right across the street from the hospital. So I guess you got that going for you if you have a problem, but
But you
it's
can
good.
get the mini, you know,
True. But
you
come
know.
on. Do you?
I usually do just because
Okay, well
otherwise
then you
it's
have better willpower than I do.
yeah. But yeah, they're totally
Yeah.
gluten free and they have a vegan option all the time. So it's really great for, kind of whomever is there. And I mean, in the summer they have lines out the door. So yeah,
Yeah,
no, they're awesome.
you have some very good, Navanta. You've got some really great restaurants in your district.
Yeah, and
Now, I'm
then I
not
was
telling
just like
people to not
focusing
go
really close
downtown.
down.
Let me be very clear. We love downtown, but support all of these local businesses all throughout the city. It matters, right? And the fact is, we now have an amazing connection between the fifth district and downtown. Not only is part of it downtown, but the BRT. I mean, you can
Yeah,
seamlessly get to all of these places very quickly,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that matters.
And
So,
super easy, particularly for like bike to BRT. So
correct.
because you can just, it's so much easier than the old buses. You just roll your bike on and it's right there and you can roll off and go wherever you want. I mean, it's really a slick system. It's really nice.
No one was asking for this, but I think we're going to make this part of our new advocacy update. I'll give a parenting tip. If you have a fussy 2-year-old, which I often do, you know what is a real cure-all for a fussy 2-year-old? A trip on the BRT. Like, we just go ride the BRT, and like he loves it. I mean, he loves it.
That's
Loves it.
awesome.
Yes. Council President Regina Vidaver, 5th District, we are so thankful for all your leadership in downtown, of the entire city as a whole. Very much appreciate your continued support of what's happening in downtown and your support for local businesses, the local nonprofits, and all these great community groups that are making things happen. Thank you very much for joining us today.
And thank you for having me. It is always a joy to talk with you, Jason. And just so pleased with all the work that DMI is doing and all the support you give to the other, as you said in the beginning, the surrounding neighborhood associations and everything. You really are being, kind of the legs that everybody else can stand on. So thank you.
Well, we really appreciate it. And thank you to all of you for watching and paying attention to DMI. We appreciate it. And to our sponsors, Sonera, our major series sponsor, Hush, Blackwell, and the Fiore companies for sponsoring our advocacy update series. Hopefully we'll see you downtown. It's summer. Come on downtown. We'll see you at the farmer's market. We'll see you at the night market. Lots of reasons to come downtown and spend some money. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.